My box is next to Tom Cruise's box, is next to Akshay Kumar's box. Same size box on Netflix. Do you know what I mean? What a democracy in that sense. Somebody from my background with my looks, my whatever, I'm just competing for your attention. I think the best kind of comedians can sneak a story on you. Hindi speakers are going to Coldplay, you know what I mean? English speakers are going to Diljit Dosanjh. So this massive audience is not getting theatrical comedy. So when a joke doesn't land, I'll say, "Achha, you didn't like that one." Because you can't pretend like the joke was awesome and keep, the audiences are damn smart. There are 45 Indian comics in New York who will talk to you about Quick Marts and Vivek Ramaswamy and Apu from The Simpsons and oh my god, we're all doctors. Enough people will talk to you about that shit. You could come and stand with me in that Mumbai feel. 9,000 people send you laughter. See what that does to your body. It is better than anything. It's better than 5 years of therapy. It's better than drugs. It's better than anything, right? COVID was the great equalizer in a certain sense in which we were all locked up, right? Now, in that time, normal human beings really started to get very creative and they put themselves out there. If you cast an actor as a hero and he was supposed to be shirtless on a horse and he was drinking the night before, he doesn't look good, that's unprofessional behavior. To me, dwelling on the hate or reading too many comments or doom scrolling is the equivalent of being that level of unprofessional. In my audience at that time, if you're standing on stage, what you're seeing the audience go is this. Just, and they're looking around like that. That's the truth.
Darling Solar 20,500 முன்பணத்தில் இப்பொழுது சோலார் மூலம் இலவச மின்சாரம். This festive season, travel the world with Grand Royal Tours.
ரகங்கள் பலவிதம் ஒவ்வொன்றும் உலகத்தரம் தமிழக உற்பத்தியில் உங்கள் அனுஜ் ஸ்டைல்ஸ்.
Hello everyone, we are at Gigi's. It's a premium dining restaurant in the heart of Bombay and we have with us Veerdas,
who is not premium enough for this restaurant that we are in.
Yeah, very happy to have you.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
So let's get with the Emmy.
Okay, we can start there, sure.
Yeah, it's like, what does it feel like? And I'm not asking it in the usual cliche, stupid way, but you know how they say about, some people have these things about the Oscars, right? It's like, why do I need a white man's validation, so on and so forth, and but the other people are like, why do you care? It's somebody recognizing your work and it's good. What's your
the clarification is that I think the demarcation is I won an international Emmy, right? So I think what a lot of people don't understand is the international Emmy is internationally voted. So everybody submits from India. If you're a comedy, you're submitting. You know what I mean? So I would imagine everything from Panchayat to myself to Zakir's new special to everything goes. Right. And then it gets voted by cells in China, Costa Rica, Saudi Arabia. They all have viewings and they narrow it down. So it actually isn't white man's validation. It's kind of a more global thing. In terms of stand-up, it doesn't really make any difference. I think if I was to walk on stage with an Emmy, people will be like, what is this? It'll make my life harder as a comic. In terms of a moment, it was very nice for the people who stuck with me. Whether that's an audience member or a team member, it was nice to come back and say, look at what we did. I've only ever won, I think, 3 awards in my life. One was this. One was one like Pan Parag, something best guy in third row award. And one was like a L style award. So as awards go, I'm not a very awarded person. It was nice to have it,
Yeah, it's a nice moment, right?
It's a nice moment. And I'm pretty good at being in the moment, in that moment. So I remember the camera being here and me feeling like my smile is very stupid because the camera guy comes all the way up to you when the nominees are being announced. I remember dying to pee and then they give it to you in a box and the box doesn't have a handle. So then you go to the after party like one, that Baksa likhe. And I was flying back to India the next morning. I had a show in Panchkula. So I was like, how will I get this through JFK like this? And I can't check in Emmy award. So I stole the bathrobe ka, whatever the tie thing is at the Intercon in New York. and I made a handle out of it with two of them, and वो लेके गया फिर मैं.
That's a
India.
story.
That's a story. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a real bit. I mean, like, that's a story. You have to,
Yeah.
and in your show Full Volume, you do call yourself a storyteller.
I consider myself a storyteller. Yes.
What's the difference between a stand-up comedian and a storyteller?
I don't think there is one. I think there is a. I think the best kind of comedians can sneak a story on you in the guise of a joke. Where you walk in and you're there for, if you come for my live show, it's an hour and a half, but some will do an hour. And you're like, hey, laugh, 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 laugh. But then at the end, you're like, oh, I went on an arc. And I think good comics like a Richard Pryor, or like a George Carlin, or like a Mike Birbiglia, or a Johnny Lieber live have done that. You've seen the special, so there are 3 acts to the special. Like a film, there are 3 acts to the special, in the structure of the narrative. So I do think comedians are storytellers.
And your show Full Volume literally has 3 acts in a way, because there's one story being told in New York, one story being told in Mumbai, and one story being told in front of an audience in London. And the special is intercut, so that, and that's part of what was so impressive for me, was that it's hard enough to have an arc and a story coming through one location, one subject being narrated. But here you're talking about this, you being scared about losing your vocal cords at one point, something else, and everything is being interwoven into like one apparently seamless narrative. What did this take? I mean, like, how long did you do the things and then say, wow, it would be great if we interwove them together? Or did you say, I want to do 3 separate things that I'm going to interweave?
Well, it's a really strange sequence of events, because New York was not planned.
Okay.
So to give you context, Netflix said, let's do another special. And I said, let's do one about joy. All right? Because I think a lot of comedy these days is joy posturing as edge. But I was like, let's just do unapologetically joy posturing as joy special. Let's make people feel happy and warm inside. So great. So we got a stadium in Mumbai. We were fortunate enough to sell it out. And I said, I'll shoot a opening to that stadium in London. So I'll do like a 7-minute opening in London, and suddenly lights will transition into this Mumbai. If you've seen the red, it looks like the pit of hell, and there's one kind of solitary this thing in there. And I lost my voice 6 weeks before the special. So now, normally when you go up and shoot a stand-up comedy special, you are your most rehearsed. You are your tightest. You have done 180 shows across the world. You're good. You know everything like the back of your hand. I could not rehearse for 6 weeks. I could not speak for 4.5 of those 6 weeks. And I started to rewrite the show because that's what I was going through. So 6 weeks later, I went up cold to 12,000 people in Mumbai that evening and did a show about silence. It ended up becoming a show about silence because it's just where I was. And I was like, the backstory to this is very important. The context to this is very important. And I like the pre-context of saying I had Netflix paid me money to do this special. I ended up doing this special, and here's why. And so then I was hosting the International Emmy Awards the next year. So we went from the Emmy Awards to a comedy club in New York, walked in and did the backstory in New York.
That's how it developed.
That's how it developed. So, and then we cut it all together. And I identified sort of theme points. So if I'm talking about homeopathy is the taking of medicine. It will cut to how social media is an addiction and the taking of medicine. So we found theme points, etc., but that's how it came about.
And I think what's beautiful about certain kinds of stand-up comedies, like, and I think this is why I asked you if you consider yourself a storyteller, because I've seen people do stand-up and they basically are narrating a bunch of jokes that do not have a connective tissue. And I'm not saying that's right or wrong. That's the style.
Great.
That's the style, right? I don't consider them storytellers. I think they are out to entertain an audience through the medium of bits, individual jokes. But one of my favorite comedians, like Jerry Seinfeld, for instance, his bits have an organic
Yeah.
way of having a base topic and then kind of building on that, right? So when you see a show, there's something very wholesome about the whole thing. Like you've spent an hour chatting to somebody about one particular thing or two specific things, but then you've also been smiling about it, and that's the feel I got from your show
Thank
as
you.
well.
Yeah.
Why this name, Full Volume?
Because I think when you lose your volume, you discover the freedom to be a fool. I think that there's a certain, there's a certain pressure that comes with the follow-up to an Emmy-winning special. Do you know what I mean? There's a
Right.
certain pressure that comes with the follow-up special to controversy.
Right.
And it's nice for the universe to give you one jhap and take your voice away and remind you that your job is to be an idiot.
Yeah.
I also think that there's a very big difference between a live show and a stand-up comedy special on an OTT platform. I've waited for this forever, sir. My box is next to Tom Cruise's box, is next to Akshay Kumar's box, same size box on Netflix. Do you know what I mean? What a democracy in that sense. Somebody from my background with my looks, my whatever, I'm just competing for your attention. That's it. So I don't need to know the distributor to give me Standy, to give me morning show, to give me same box.
Yeah.
So my special has to have filmmaking qualities to it, and it has to hold you like a story would. Otherwise, I cannot compete with an Akshay Kumar or a Aamir Khan or a Farhan Akhtar or a Tom Cruise's thing. So I have to give you a story in a OTT special for sure. I believe that.
So when is there a Veer Das show that you think had the best audience ever? Are you able to identify? You know what that was? I wish every show could be like that.
I like a club.
That's
You know,
like an intimate
yeah,
setting.
like even in this special, if you see, there's a big stadium. The church is about 2,500. The club is 130 people at the Comedy Cellar, which is, by the way, the best club in the world. That's
Right.
the holy grail for comedians. There's something about a 10-foot ceiling, muck on the floor. Drinks. You can hear every bottle. You can hear every glass. You really find out if a joke is good in that kind of a this thing. It's hot. I like that atmosphere. Favorite atmosphere.
You're making the church. You're making
Yeah.
these God jokes, right? What is your equation with God, if I may ask?
I'm a big believer in God. I pray every night.
Okay.
Yeah. I have a weaving relationship with religion, but I'm a Hindu and I pray every night. Not so much for things, but to thank for things.
Yeah.
That's my, yeah.
Right. And when you feel that you've achieved pretty much a lot of the things that a stand-up comedian can achieve,
Yeah.
right? Holy Grail, etc., that you just mentioned. What else is there?
अरे बहुत करना है सर ऐसा
बहुत
तो
करना है।
बहुत करना है
Okay.
I've never been on Broadway.
Okay.
I'd like to do that.
Okay.
I've never done a cricket stadium.
Okay.
I'd like to do that. I just fell in love with directing. I got to co-direct my first feature and direct my first show. I want to do a lot more of that.
Can you tell us about that?
Sure. I co-directed a movie called Happy Patel Khatarnak Jasoos. I play Happy Patel. Aamir Khan produced it. It's something I got to co-write as well. And I kind of sat back and said, oh man, why haven't I been doing this for 10 years? And I just didn't have the audience size and the, life takes you where life takes you. But I intend to do a lot more of that. And there is a certain tone of comedy where I feel there's a massive comedy audience in India, right? That is young, and that is smartphone comedy audiences. They watch my show, they watch Zakir's show, they watch India's Got Latent, they watch, all of these things, ferociously consume all of that. And they are underserved by cinematic commercial comedy. So where is our Hangover, Adam Sandler, Ben Stiller, etc. And for a while there, Delhi Belly, recently Madgaon Express, Go Goa Gone,
Gone, yeah.
these things were getting there. that audience hasn't gone anywhere, brother. That audience still exists.
And it's an audience that has the money to go to the theatre.
The audience is paying prices to come to my show, to go to Diljit Dosanjh, to go to Coldplay. There are no rules anymore. Hindi speakers are going to Coldplay. You know what I mean? English speakers are going to Diljit Dosanjh. So this massive audience is not getting theatrical comedy. And I think that's a gap that people who understand comedy can fill.
Yeah.
You know, if you give your costs what they need to be, whatever this model, somebody in the big five producers will go and figure it out hopefully soon and be like, "Acha, spend this much on a comedy." We'll spend that much, but we'll be funnier and we'll serve this massive young audience at some point.
Right. So, and the other thing that you're doing, apart from this Happy Patel.
I have a show with applause and with Sameer Nair and an applause, and it's kind of like an Aamir meets Malgudi Days,
Okay.
and it's silent.
Okay.
So it's kind of I love Mr. Bean and I love Chaplin and I love physical comedy. So it's kind of a kid show with physical comedy that I got to create with them as well.
One of the things is Sameer himself is a very, very funny guy.
Yeah, he's very funny. Yeah.
He speaks in bits. Like
Yeah.
like everything that he says
Yeah.
is a bit like a joke. He's very funny.
And you never know what he's thinking.
Yeah.
He's he'll make you laugh, make you smile. You'll walk away from the meeting feeling amazing. I love that about him.
Yeah. So, have you ever frozen in front of an audience?
Yeah, all the time.
And what do you do when you
I address the fact that I've frozen.
you talk about it?
Yeah, because you can't pretend. You can't move on. The audience knows what happened. They saw it. So if you try and pretend like it didn't happen for the next 15 minutes, they're thinking about it. So you have to be full disclosure and be like, you saw that, I saw that, it sucked. Now let's move on. When a joke doesn't land, I'll say, Acha, you didn't like that one. Because you can't pretend like the joke was awesome and keep, the audiences are damn smart. They're teaching you.
One of the things that I really liked about this particular show, and let's just talk about around this particular show, right? Is that you say, okay, about 30% of the audience got that joke. And you deliberately address the fact that, listen, I'm not for everyone.
Yeah.
I'm an English-speaking comedian in India.
Yeah.
And this is me. I'm not trying to be relatable. Use that word
Yeah.
quite a bit. I'm not trying to be relatable to everybody.
Yeah.
I am who I am. How long did it take for you to achieve this sense of, it's okay, I can own this. I don't have to try and be everything to everyone.
Ask me tomorrow and you'll get a different answer to, I'm still grappling with it. But I think I was lucky enough to find my tribe a little bit in terms of an audience. And the world changed. Like if you ask me to describe my comedy, I consider myself Indian comedy for the world. And I don't think there's anything wrong in saying that anymore. That used to be considered arrogant 5 years ago or 6 years ago, but I don't think it's arrogant today to say, no, I come from a country where there are possibly 200 million English speakers, which is a larger English audience than America. And I can perform at New York's best comedy club, where the best comedians in the world perform. And I can perform at a massive venue in London as well, but it'll still be Indian comedy and the world will consume it. But we're going to talk about the fight outside and tunak tun as well.
Yeah.
So that's what I consider myself.
One of the things that I saw recently, you said smartphone audience, they consume a lot of comedy. One of the things I discovered this comedian called Anthony Jeselnik.
Yeah, so good.
Yeah, and
so good.
He does these absolutely dark bits that are right up that's my sweet spot, right?
Yeah.
I love that really, really dark, disturbing, politically incorrect,
Yeah.
that kind of stuff, right? So he said something very interesting, that he went to see Jerry Seinfeld live. And he was like, it didn't work for him at all.
Sure.
It was like, this was like the worst thing. He just kept going. And he really deconstructed why it did not work for him. And I'm like a huge Jerry Seinfeld fan. And I'm like, I've just discovered this guy. And it's fascinating for me to watch this so-called newer generation guy diss one of the so-called legends.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. When does comedy become stale? Or does it ever become stale?
I don't know. Is the honest answer to that question. I think I'm not necessarily on a different page than Anthony Jeselnik about Jerry Seinfeld.
Okay.
And I'll tell you why. It's because I think there are comedians who do a show, and there are comedians who do the act.
Okay.
Right? Seinfeld is very clear. I do the act, and you come to see the act. You don't come to see Seinfeld. The act has not changed in 15, 20, 30 years. So he's not rewriting, he's sculpting, he's fine tuning. You know how there's the Japanese sushi chef who'll take 30 years to learn how to cut one piece of cuttle chef. That's Jerry Seinfeld, right? But then the people who watch that act will grow older and older and older. Like, I'll give you an example. I used to do a show called History of India Rewritten. All right, and it was about the history of India through stand-up comedy. We did 200 shows of that over a period of time, 5-6 years. Young people came and went, critics came and went, older people came and went, uncle aunties came and went. And then at some point, I was just like, oh, they're coming for the spectacle, but nobody here is consuming my voice. And perhaps this spectacle doesn't represent who I am in any way, shape or form, so I need to stop doing this show. So I think that's where Anthony Jeselnik is coming from. When you see a comic live, it should be a snapshot into who I am at that moment in time. If you watch my special from 4 years ago, that's not who I am. I can't watch it. I don't like to watch it.
What if I say I crave comfort food sometimes and I want to watch X comedian simply because I want that flavor, that comfort food, and that's Jerry Seinfeld's audience?
I think it would be because you are consuming him in a limited amount with a particular outcome that you desire from that thing. But when you say you're consuming Seinfeld, are you consuming the show or are you consuming the stand-up?
The show.
The show, the fiction show.
Yeah, the series.
That varies, no?
Yeah.
But you can't watch the Seinfeld stand-up. You won't watch it every week. I don't think you will.
Okay.
You know?
So will I be able to watch Veer Das every week?
My stand-up? No, you shouldn't.
Okay.
You should come see me once every 6 months, and you should buy the best seats. They're very expensive, and come see me then. But now, if you are a fan of my tone of comedy, if that sparks something in you, we live in a world where you can consume me 5 times a year in 5 different genres, and I don't mean me specifically. I mean a creative person. But like, to give you context, I have a Netflix special, a show that will probably only go up on YouTube, another OTT series with applause, a theatrical release, and a book, all coming out within the next 11 months of my life. So you can still consume me 6 times, 5 times, and it'll be different each time.
Right. You're a really lazy guy.
Yeah, I'm just saying, sir, बहुत time couch पे बैठा है with nobody listening to me. They're finally listening.
Every time I hear somebody saying "sir," I'm reminded of the time I was in Bombay. Like, I used to live in Bombay for a brief period, and there was this Mahesh Bhatt film that was coming out called "Sir." So it was "To Serve with Love," remade in Hindi with
the Sydney Poitier version. Okay.
So that time radio ads used to be, then. So the thing used to say, "विशेष films प्रस्तुत करते हैं महेश भट्ट का सर." It made it sound like they're going to give us his head. That's what I'm reminded of.
When I first came to Mumbai, I got signed by Vishesh for a movie. It was heartbreaking, but they were very sweet about it. I got signed.
You got signed for the film?
Yeah, I got signed for a movie called Avarapan for Purab Kohli's role, the villain ka role. And I was so excited. I get to play like a young villain, you know what I mean? Show some range, etc., etc. And then I got a signing amount also, some 20,000 rupees, etc., which, by the way, I think was most of the amount, Vishesh Films. And then I think they didn't call for like 2 months. And then I finally traced down like the third AD. And the third AD told me, they're like, bro, Purab has a 3-film contract with us, so usko de rahe hain the role. So I was like, fine, but kabhi aayega. But to their credit, they then called me and offered me a role in something called Jannat, which was their next movie. It was sweet of them. But
yeah. But one of the things that I find interesting is comedy. The word comedy, if you look at it in a dictionary,
sure,
it says something like makes you laugh.
Yeah.
A joke is something that makes you laugh.
Yeah.
But there are many comedians, you included, that make you think a little bit. Like, it's not that I'm not laughing, but there are times when I'm not, ha, ha, ha. That's not my immediate response. I'm like, that's something there. There's something going on there, you know, and like, I'm suddenly getting a little reflective. Is that something you want?
I don't think it would matter whether I wanted it or not. You can't create.
I can't, But is that something you, I know that you cannot create the outcome of what you're doing, but is that something that, now that I say it, you said like, damn, I wish you had laughed at that point instead of getting reflective. Is that something you're thinking?
No. I never know how you're going to react. When I write 10 pages, everything I thought would work never works, and everything I didn't think would work ends up being the damn thing that works.
When you say works, what do you mean?
The big laughs. I'm like, "Arey, yahan par hansi aayegi," etc., etc. Then I go up at a club with it in other points. Then I write down those roads, right? But I think, to me, you know, I'm in my 40s. You know, I don't. If nothing else, I'm just being honest about how I feel and how I see the world. And if that makes you reflect a little bit, maybe so. But it's certainly better than me pretending to be dumber than I am or something that I'm not, you know. So like me or don't like me, laugh loud or don't laugh loud, you're meeting me.
Yeah,
you
that's
know,
who you are.
This is who I am.
So that one of the bits that made me reflect in Full Volume is when you talk about identity versus personality.
Yeah.
It's not, I wouldn't have thought, oh, you can actually create comedy with this, but I also thought about what you said. Do you care to just talk about that a bit?
Okay. I said that there are, that we're obsessed with putting ourselves out there, but we put what we are out there much more than who we are out there. We talk about our labels more than our feelings. And broadly, the world is divided into assholes and people who deal with assholes, right? Now, within this, there are black assholes, white assholes, straight assholes, gay assholes. It's intersectional, it's all of that stuff. But still, personalities are asshole or not asshole, you know?
What is Veer Das's identity and what is Veer Das's personality?
My identity is I'm a Mumbaikar, half UP, half Bihari, heterosexual, Hindu, male, non-vegetarian, entertainment business professional.
Okay.
Right?
I think that should become the catch. The entertainment business professional. I think every stand-up should call themselves that. Yeah.
My personality is I'm an idiot and I have no clue and I'm trying to figure it out and I'm not very smart and I'm reminded every day how little I know. That's my personality.
Okay. But would you want to put that out?
That's what you see in the show, is me going...
I don't see you not being smart.
But I've not, you know, like that line, there are assholes and people, it's not a smart line. You know what I mean? It's just true. You know, if I was smart, I'd be like, arey, but you know, I think there are, like, let's look at podcasts, for instance. In the podcasting world, I think there are two hallmarks of it. One is bakchodi and one is expertise. And these are the two types of podcasts that work to me, right? Just vibing, shooting the shit. It's great. There's a connection. That's undeniably watchable. And then there's a lot of expertise and sometimes a lot of pseudo-expertise on podcasts, etc., etc. If I consider myself, I fall into neither one of these.
The mid.
Yeah, you know, I'm not an expert at anything, and I'm quite a socially anxious person for bakchodi. You know, so I'm somewhere in the middle. You know.
Would you say you're an expert at gauging the pulse of an audience?
In the room, yes. In general, no.
In the room?
Yeah, in the room, yes. I do think so.
That's an expertise you have, right? I mean, isn't that supposed to be there?
I think of comedy, if we can talk slightly artsy-fartsy for a second, flow state.
Let's all talk all artsy-fartsy.
Okay,
That's
okay.
me. Yeah.
So,
it's like,
you know, some guitarists will play color. You know, they don't see it as notes, they see it as color. To me...
What is it called? Synesthesia?
I think so, right? But for me, flow state is temperature. I feel when an audience is hot, cold, warm, shifty.
You feel the temperature.
Yeah.
You actually feel...
I feel the temperature. Okay. So, I'm good at that. If you've seen the special, Mumbai is red hot. It's a burning room. You know what I mean? London technically should be warmer than Mumbai, if you think about it. It's a warm church with amber lights and heating and all of that stuff. London is cool. And London is kind of smooth and going. And New York is just dark sweat. You know, I very much, I feel that shift throughout the show and shift with it.
When you make a joke like, okay, let's not call it a joke. Let's say when you create something around the nazar, for instance, which is like the evil eye,
Yeah.
to an audience that does not know what an evil eye is, and part of the bit involves explaining what that is. Talk to me about how you structure that, because you are going to an audience not necessarily with a hamburger joke.
No.
Because that's the audience, that's the joke they'll get like this. But instead you're trying to sell a joke about the Indian superstition, whatever it is. How do you, like, is that something,
But then,
do you want to throw them out of their comfort zone? Is
yeah,
that,
but also why did I come all this way otherwise? There are 45 Indian comics in New York who will talk to you about Quick Marts and Vivek Ramaswamy and Apu from The Simpsons and oh my God, we're all doctors. You know, enough people will talk to you about that shit. मैं इतना बड़ा सूटकेस लेके आया इंडिया से वीजा लेकर एटसेट्रा एटसेट्रा take something new, man. Home from the thing. The Indians in the audience, I did Carnegie Hall. Right, Carnegie Hall, 50-50. Down the middle, Indians and Americans. The Indians were so lovely because they sat back and waited for me to explain things like a chudel to the Americans. But to them, it's funny to see how I will explain this thing. Or like, okay.
that becomes the joke.
That becomes the joke to the Indians.
Right.
And the Americans are learning something, right? So, can I cuss on this? Can I not cuss on this?
You can cuss, yeah.
All right. So, I explain Bhenchot in this contextually for the Americans. In the show, I explain it. The Indians are losing their mind, right? Because it's an explanation of Bhenchot they've never heard before.
Yeah.
But at the end of it, the Americans now they know how to say Bhenchot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, why not here? Why not? Is
Right.
what I'd say.
Right. No, that's lovely, because you're explaining to me how the act of explanation itself can become the joke.
Yeah.
Like when the act of education becomes
Yeah.
the joke. Right. So that's part of the,
For
the
sure.
thing. Would you consider yourself a high IQ comedian?
No, I don't have a high IQ. I don't
Not
think.
whether you have a high
Ah.
IQ, whether your comedy, whether your structure is a little, for the lack of a better word, cerebral. I don't mean in a professorial way.
I think it's more EQ than it is IQ. I think my audience थोड़ा senti है, थोड़ा it's not terribly alpha male. It's not terribly self-victimizing. It's just kind of this. We like heart, warm fuzzy. That's
Warm
what
fuzzy?
Warm fuzzy.
Okay. Is every comedian a little bit sad and angry all the time?
Yeah, for sure.
I've met a lot of stand-up comics,
Yeah.
and these two emotions seem to be predominantly in them a lot of the time.
Why would you do this profession if you were not sad and angry? What I tell other people is, I'm like, if there's anything else you can do and be happy, please go do that. Don't do this shit.
But the reason I ask is, it seems contradictory to me that you're sad, you're trying to make people laugh, and your anger is coming out as a joke. There's something a little, I don't understand that psychology, That's like
I think
I'm sad, but instead of going and sitting in a corner and crying, or talking to my friends or talking to my therapist, I'm
telling strangers. But perhaps it is, the audience does way more for me than I do for the audience. Like, I wish you could come and stand with me in that Mumbai. Feel, 9,000 people send you laughter. See what that does to your body. It is better than anything. It's better than 5 years of therapy. It's better than drugs. It's better than anything, right? But it is a barter at some level between you and me. So for you to give me, perhaps watching me process something horrible allows me to process it, receive joy from you, and allows you to find a new mental joint towards your something horrible. So that the next time you think of yours, it's slightly funnier to you. Perhaps that's the, but If the alternative is what? You go up and watch a comedian talk about how great his life is and how awesome everything is, that doesn't feel like a very good show to me. The equation is you're happy, I'm afraid. That's why this works.
Right.
If I'm ever happy and you're afraid, we're screwed. It's a terrible show. You have the power.
You're afraid, actually afraid.
I'm afraid. It's battle between you and me, and I'm afraid.
So the mask, there's a mask.
Yeah, sure. Stand-up is in the telling of it. There are certain comedians who, Jesselnik, deadpan, right? He's not that guy in real life. I've met Jesselnik. We perform all the time together. He's a very sweet, very nice guy.
That's an act.
Of course it's an act. He's not a...
He's not a baby killer.
Not at all. He's a very nice guy. There are certain comedians who are very kind of wise, drink in hand, who the hell are you? And then I like to think of myself as 190%. Throw it all out there, trying too hard, in fact, sometimes. It's in the telling of it. But that's not the guy. It's never the guy. You know?
A comedian craves laughs.
Yeah.
Are you needy in real life as well?
For sure. For sure. All of us.
Okay.
We are failed rock stars.
Why do you say that? I don't know, it made me laugh. But
we wanted the... but we just don't have that talent. You know what I mean? So we decided to shit on other people to get the same...
But you have an international Emmy. The people across the world,
Sure.
not just white Americans, but people across all, populations and all that voted for you.
But that has nothing to do with how... if I put that... If you came to the... If we went to... what is it? Sri Muthusubha Hall in Chennai, and you and I walked on stage together, and I put the Emmy on stage, they would boo.
Why?
Because they'd be like, who the hell are you? We have power in this situation. Make fun of yourself, talk about what an idiot you are, and send me home flying on a cloud. That's your job.
Somebody I was talking to the other day, a filmmaker.
I'm going to have another lozenge. Do you want one more?
No,
or you
I'm
good?
good. I'm good.
Okay,
Thanks.
cool.
Somebody I was talking to the other day, a filmmaker, told me we were talking about why there is so much anger online these days, or hate online these days, or the willingness to, or rather the people just want to diss everything all the time. It's like they don't want to give anything a chance. Or there's a separate genre of comedy in terms of memes and stuff like that, where I may like or respect something. It may be a piece of art or music or book or whatever it is, but I'm also going to make fun of it. That's become a separate thing. And his logic was, it's because these people don't create. It's because they have less than in life than the people they're making fun of. So this gives them the power that, listen, I may not be as rich as you. I may not be as handsome as you. I may not be, have, a 21-year-old by my side or whatever it is that rocks your boat. But this is one thing I can do. I can fuck you over. And over my Twitter, I can do this. I can do that. Do you subscribe to that?
No.
No? It's not a form of...
Well, I don't know who the filmmaker is, and with all due respect to them, I would say it's a little bit of a cop-out.
Okay.
To say you shit on me because you don't create. I think, by the way, the internet is more creative than all of us.
And I think a lot of these memes and trolls are hilarious.
Hilarious.
It's like,
It is...
and sometimes I feel guilty because I like the thing that they're making fun of, and yet I'm laughing at the joke. So it's like
there are memes and random videos from people you've never met that are funnier than the funniest films you've ever watched. Yeah. Let's be clear, the internet is very creative.
Very creative.
Right?
Yeah. And one of the things that the internet has done is to show you how much creativity is out there and how much less we've been settling for in our own entertainment media.
I think to me, that's it. Is COVID especially laid bare inauthenticity. Mm-hmm. COVID was the great equalizer in a certain sense in which we all locked up, right? Now, in that time, normal human beings really started to get very creative, and they put themselves out there. There were husbands and wives ballroom dancing. And the common sort of arch emotion was, we're all fucked. Arey lag gayi. So now comedy is already there.
Yeah.
Right? But in that time, you suddenly saw every movie star that was so shielded and so protected and so postured and so this thing, you saw them laid bare. Because they still tried to connect with the audience, and they couldn't do it. because they're not used to being themselves. They don't know how to be themselves.
This whole identity versus personality.
Identity versus personality, but also, sir, can you not, so I won't call you sir, but can you not tell when you're interviewing a person who sounds like they're doing an interview?
Yeah.
You can tell, no? So can the audience. So can the comment section. So the comment section is now no longer going, I don't want to watch a film star behave like a film star on some interview. Who the fuck are you really? Because I'm on Instagram and I've gone through years of seeing who the fuck people really are. So who are you at home? You know, you don't have to be a film star to get 9 million views on a reel anymore. This thing. By the way, all of your fancy lighting and your fancy song and your fancy this, I can do on Instagram reels for myself. I'm the main character now as the audience. You better have something else to impress me, and that's authenticity. So I think what gets trolled is anything inauthentic gets trolled. Now, is there that being parked aside? Yeah, are there masculinity issues? And are there, is it easy to attack female actresses? All of that stuff still exists, And I think that has to do with anonymity more than anything else. It's just...
Is it people lashing out?
I think it's people being able to not face consequences.
That's it.
Hide your face. Like I openly say, I think anybody should be allowed to say anything about any actor, any actress, their physical appearance. But there should be a software where your photo comes alongside their photo. That's it. Don't say anything. It's just put your photo next to it. Put your real name and your real photograph, and then say what the hell you like and own what comes after.
Yeah.
If you hate, please hate. Own your hatred with your own name. That's all. Don't hide it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But again, it's easy to say that coming from where I come from.
As in?
As in, I'm a heterosexual male from a middle class family that sent me to a good school and had a good income. So it's not everybody can openly state an opinion with that level of privilege.
Okay.
Some people don't have the income level. Some people, can be targeted a lot easier than somebody like me can.
Okay. And even if you are targeted, you kind of brush it off?
No, I don't brush it off.
Do you dwell on it?
I wrote a show about it. It won an Emmy.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
So I definitely do dwell on it.
International Emmy.
And international Emmy. There you go. But I'm the little bit of logic that I've found with it, and I try and tell it to younger comics as well, is if you paid to see me ever and you showed up and I was 10% lesser because I had read too many comments that day or I dwelled too much on hate that day, I'm unprofessional. I didn't give you 100%. So if you cast an actor as a hero and he was supposed to be shirtless on a horse and he was drinking the night before, and he doesn't look good, that's unprofessional behavior. To me, dwelling on the hate or reading too many comments or doom scrolling is the equivalent of being that level of unprofessional.
Right. I like how your mind went to, does Veer Das dream of being shirtless on a horse?
I'd love to be shirtless on a horse.
Yeah.
Like Ishan Khattar, just in Royals, show up, but then I'd make it funny.
With the biceps and...
abs,
sorry, like... Yeah.
The film I made, I have one song left that I still have to shoot. So abhi 2-3 mahina hai.
But you have to do...
I have to do... I mean, it's a comedy, right? But it's my favorite tone of comedy, which is when nobody knows they're in a comedy.
Okay.
So you play it very straight. It's played very straight, the entire this thing. So there are songs in the movie and we commit.
You commit.
We do a song.
What is your take on wokeness?
Everybody's forgotten what it started as, which was, it was part of black history in America. And now it's become sort of a pejorative that I don't know what it is in that sense. Sometimes I feel like it's a word used to explain away anything we don't want to talk about. We don't. That wokeness, dead. Wokeness. So I don't quite know what it is anymore. I do know that at some level it was being used as a grift in comedy. The wokes are trying to take me down, the wokes are trying to this thing, etc., etc. Man, you know, Anthony Jeselnik has a great reel where he says comedy is getting away with it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Say what you say, but the audience will also say things.
Yeah, and that goes back to what you just said, because the comedian's face is right there.
Yeah.
He's owning, or he or she is owning what they're saying.
Yeah.
So like what you said, as long as you are putting yourself out there, own it.
Yeah.
Right?
Look, I've been cancelled by both sides at different times in life, but then you can come back and make both sides laugh. You just have to be genuine about the experience that you're having. But to be like woke is you just being like, I've not learnt anything from this experience. And for you to overly be like, I'm woke and your shit is again the same side of the different side of the same coin, I think.
There's one bit that you do in full volume where you talk about this I think Hindi comedian that comes up to you and says, you know, you should not do it in English, and you should, if you want a bigger reach, you want to do the thing. And then the punchline lands, and I'm not going to give away the punchline.
No, you can. He lives in a Range Rover.
Okay, he lives in a Range Rover. So it's like the thing. Is that when somebody gives you that kind of advice, how do you process it? Because because part of what he says is true.
Yeah, sure.
It's not like he's giving you bullshit and
No.
Like there is a part of it that says Veer Das could become a much bigger phenomenon if he catered to what the industry calls the B and C center audiences, right? What do you say when something?
I'd say that I'm going to cater to the B and C audiences, but it won't be through stand-up comedy. It may be through the film that I make.
Okay.
It may be through something else that I do, right?
So that's compartmentalization.
Yeah, that's compartmentalization, but also stand-up has to be in the language that you think. And it has to be in the language that you're most comfortable in. That's when it'll be best.
Mm-hmm.
Also, why can I not be global? Do you know what I mean? I'm saying it out loud also.
Yeah.
I'm saying, why not, man? You know what I'm saying? If I'm hosting the Emmys, why should they not learn about Bazigar? I brought up Bazigar at the Emmys.
Mm-hmm.
Why the hell not, man? You know what I'm saying? So, agar wo dekha jaye, then Bazigar should only belong in India.
Yeah.
Why should we talk about it on stage in New York in front of this international diverse audience? Ab, hai to hai. I grew up in many different places. My last world tour was 33 countries. You're telling me I'm going to have the privilege of seeing the entire world and not learn from it? And not want to be more global? And not have that invoke something in me? Think about it. Who gets to say that? I've seen the whole world. Nobody, very few people can say that with a straight face and have it be true. I saw close to 33 countries last year. And I'm saying I got to walk around and I got to meet people. And I wasn't shut up on some film set in some vanity van. I got to feel, experience, eat, meet 33 countries last year. We're global, you know. Now, yes, I will never have as many YouTube views. And I will never make as much money as a mainstream Hindi star. But at some level, sure, I'll have fish soup in Norway, in very normal shoes and normal jeans, and the next week I'll be in Australia, and that dude might be in the best shoes and the best jeans, but locked in a vanity van for 3 months.
But does travel get exhausting?
My wife is really great about the travel, so she'll pick the good places in the world, and she'll be like, "Come, let's go." It does for sure. It plays on your mind.
Because you've also got to battle the mental exhaustion of going something with the fact that your job requires you to be mentally on all the time. Like how do you?
Good days and bad days. You know what I mean? We're like vampires, comedians. You know, you're in a hotel room all day long. You're gym gaye, thoda sa khana khaya, fir se so gaye. Then 10 o'clock at night, we're up, right? And we go to work. It's a weird job. But, like, to give you an example, let's say I'm in Arlington, Texas. Chalo, theek hai? Now, at some point, you're sitting there going, the money I'm making in Arlington, Texas tonight, I could make that in Mumbai if I did. In 5 minutes, we'd sell out the show, etc., etc., etc. Why am I here? You're feeling bad, you're in a random hotel, etc. You'll go through that the whole day. At 10 o'clock at night, you will meet 1,000 people, right? And you'll see 1 or 2 people who have come alone, right? And then they'll write you a message or meet you after the show and say, I have not been in a room full of this many Indians, and I work in Deloitte, and I work very, very hard, and I miss home every single day. And for about 1 hour today, you took me back home. And that's worth it, yeah. That's it. That's worth your whole day. Just that much, you know?
You know, in a strange way, I'm an introverted person.
Yeah.
But when I'm on a stage, doing an interview or doing a talk or something like that, I'm completely okay with the fact that I'm doing this and there's all these people. But the minute I step down and they surround me, there's some...
You have stage feet. It's called stage feet.
What is it? Yeah.
It's your feet are meant to be on wooden floorboards. It's a you and me have the same thing.
That's a term.
That's a term. You have stage feet. The day I was put on in a school play, I was a tree in the background. I was like, oh, ghar. You know what I mean? Like, this is it. So you have stage feet. And I said, that's where you're meant to be. By the way, I completely agree with you. The safest place is on stage.
Yeah.
It's not off stage. Off stage is where the people are.
It's terrifying. Because
terrifying.
the minute they start, you know, like you know, thing, and it's like, there's a bit of a, you know, I don't know. I'm very grateful that to whatever little extent that I have people that like my work and whatever it is. But it's still, you know, and sometimes I extrapolate and wonder what it must be like somebody for you or like a major film star or something like that. And, you know,
Film stars don't have stage feet, sir, at all.
Yeah.
Film stars, watch them sometimes at a India Today conclave or this thing, etc. They're viscerally terrified.
Yeah, I'm look out for it.
It's not easy doing what you do or doing what I do, to be on a stage. It's not easy at all. I've seen, I mean, Shah Rukh has stage feet. Shah Rukh just, you know, is. Shah Rukh has world feet. You know what I mean? Like, that's earth feet. But I've seen a lot of film stars where we, you know, sometimes I'll be hosting an award show or something like that, and they get up and they're very sweet and they're very charming, but there's a little trepidation that they don't have on a film set. You know, it's not easy. Stage lays you bare. It really does.
There's one line that really resonated with me among many things. I keep bringing up these things, but comedians say words. The audience tells you the truth. Talk to me about that.
Do you think it's true? I do too. That's my perspective on stand-up.
Yeah. But there is why I wanted to talk about that is because I think in the guise of comedy, there is truth that comes out as well from you. You are throwing truth bombs at the audience.
I don't think of them as truth bombs. By the way, anybody who... To call the truth a bomb is to severely trivialize a bomb and the truth, by the way. Just to...
Right, but what I'm saying is you're making them see things a certain way, and maybe some of the comedians, maybe not you, but some of the best comedians I've seen, their specialty is to kind of lay bare the hypocrisies of the audience, right? You've seen that as well.
Yeah.
That's what I mean by truth bomb sometimes. So it's like, because we laugh, but we also feel uncomfortable and we say, shit, man, that's me. But I'm also laughing at this joke. But tell me about that. It's like comedians tell words, the audience tells you the truth.
It's true.
The audience tells you the truth as in, are you talking about their response to your show?
The response. When you sit and watch a stand-up comedy special, whether you're watching it on Netflix, or whether you're in the room, what is laughter? Laughter is a surprise.
Right.
It is a trick. It's a magic trick. It's the same surprise as a sneeze. It's the same surprise as a cough. It can't be manufactured. You can't make yourself sneeze, right? The minute you're sitting there, something has made you laugh, you've suddenly realized, oh shit, I feel what 3,000 people have felt. I didn't feel it because they felt it, and I didn't feel it before they felt it. But we just felt this whole thing together. That is more true than anything the comedian has said on this thing, because he could have said the stupidest thing in the world. Now, let's say I said something that I'm completely comfortable with, but the audience goes, ooh. You've heard that response many times in a comedian's video. That means that the audacity of that statement being said out loud makes the audience uncomfortable. So the truth is not the statement. The truth is the discomfort in the room. That's the true fact to take away from that. And perhaps you only see that if you stand on stage. That's what I get to look at. You see people, like sometimes comedy is something called a bait and switch, right? Which is at some point there's a long monologue in my show, which cuts to a montage, and then at the end of it is a switch where I'm like, please go arrest the audience, right? It's a long bait and switch. Now, if you're in my audience at that time, if you're standing on stage, what you're seeing the audience go is this, just, and they're looking around like that. That's the truth. That's why people watch stand-up. It's not the comedian. You're just listening to responses.
When you put together a special, how much filmmaking is involved?
There's a very personal thing for me to answer, but it's one of the reasons I was very keen to talk to you as well. I think a lot. Consider my special. Mumbai is 14 cameras. It is production designed. It is graded. My DP has rented over 1,900 lights for that scene. I've lensed it. I've shot certain portions anamorphic. I've shot on 4 Sony Venices, 2 of them on trolleys. I have FX3s across the room. I've designed every single shot. I've storyboarded every single shot of that.
Including the darkness.
Including the darkness. Now, that has come with camera tests and rehearsals and all of that stuff. Let's go to London. London is a 6-camera setup. The same Mumbai DP and sound designer have traveled to London, like you would in a film set as well. Found a local crew and done that with 6 cameras. London is production designed different, has a different color palette, has a different color theme and different topics like you would in a scene in a movie. And the same thing for New York. Then I've gone in with 3 hours plus 3 hours plus 3 hours. So about 12 hours of footage, and I've edited it down to 1 hour. Then I've graded it. I've sound mixed it. I've softened every single light that you can see. There is a central light which is supposed to establish cinematic continuity. I've worked with that bulb. I've VFX'd it. I've sound designed it. I've added music, and then I've added credits. What is that if it's not filmmaking?
It is, and
I told you a story in the meantime.
Yeah, and where Orson Welles said that the thing that separates cinema from every other medium is the fact that it's edited, which means that you're jumping across time. That's what you're doing in this as well. Where the edit points in this special written, as in, like, did you know? I'm not talking about the actual editing, as in the micro editing. But the broad way the thing switches from here to there to there, is that something you found when you were performing, or is that something that you scripted earlier and therefore?
I shot Mumbai, and then I wrote on the flight, and I found edit points for London. Then I shot London, and I wrote on the flight, and I found edit points for New York. So I knew where I was going to cut.
Right.
You know what I mean? So if I say I do a joke about Nazar and I introduce the word Nazar in New York. So you get just the word Nazar, and then it cuts immediately to Mumbai, where I'm like, Nazar is a very powerful force, and in India we call Nazar, and I say family. And then I say, speaking of family, it is so good to be in what's up Mumbai, what's up London, what's up New York, family, 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 shot of lights coming up, shot of lights. So that edit I have written down.
You have written it down?
I've written it down.
Okay.
So it's very much filmmaking. I'm disappointed. Finally, there is a Golden Globes category for stand-up comedy, for stand-up specials, etc.
So why haven't you directed?
Huh? Why haven't I directed a movie? I just did.
No, but like earlier.
I don't know. The first time I directed, I felt that. I was like, I never realized what a small part of a movie an actor is. Really, is that small part of the movie. You know, in stand-up, what I used to love is you get to infect it top to bottom with the madness you see in your mind. Only a director gets to do that on a film.
Right.
So I just directed a feature film, co-directed a feature film. I'm co-directing a horror movie next. I just directed a series, show running another series as well. And it is the closest thing to stand-up comedy that I've found.
Yeah.
It feels the same. Just where my big problem as an actor was I was like, yeah, I have to wait for 10 hours. You know what I mean? I could be seeing the world right now. You know, instead of sitting and talking about protein shakes with this guy, right? But as a director, your mind is always functioning. So
Yeah. Film is a director's medium.
really is.
Stage is the actor's medium. So.
yeah, and I think series are a producer's medium.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I think that's
yeah.
this thing.
Make the noise that you want to be remembered for.
You like that line?
I love that line.
I like that line too.
It really resonated with me because, you know, over the years, a lot of transformative stuff has happened, and like you learn from all the mistakes that you made, and you want to be this person, and so I really like that line because it says it to reduce it. It's like be yourself.
Yeah.
Something like that. So what does that line mean to you?
So, sir, the context of that line is I'd been silent for 6 weeks. So, we are very deliberately cut to darkness, right? And then it comes to me and there's just a single light on my face and I say, make the noise you want to be remembered for. And it stays on my face because I don't know what's going to happen next because I've never tried it before.
That's the first time.
That's the first time it's ever been done. Because I had only written it. I didn't get to rehearse it anywhere. So I was confused and the audience was confused. And there is there's 1-2 seconds of silence. And then suddenly the stadium starts to shake, and started to shake, and I didn't expect that. I thought people would scream India. Yeah. I thought people would, something like that would happen. But what happened was much more just visceral. It's very, I did not expect that at all. So, I cut away from it. The minute it began, I cut away from it because if you see my expression during that stadium shaking, it's bordering on fear, and bordering on just what is going on, in this darkness.
Do you ever cry?
Yeah.
Have you cried on stage?
Yeah. No, on stage, no. If you come for my show, I'm not crying.
Because I'm like, I thought this moment was a super emotional one because in a second, I'm seeing a stand-up comedian transform into a motivational speaker.
I mean, that's not a compliment in my business.
It is not. But you know what I'm saying? It's like, because there are sometimes, if the same thing was told to me by a guy I go to because I'm sad or something like that, then I'm like, okay, I know such a line is going to come from this person. But I'm coming to your show to laugh.
Yeah.
And in the middle of all the laughter, you're telling me something incredibly true, that I should make the noise that I want to be remembered for. And that's striking me with the force that I think I would find with a therapist.
Well, the thing with that line is it was such a tough line to write because it's so easy to say, make some noise for India, right? The line before that is very important. They can't see you, but they can hear you.
Yeah.
The people above you who ignore you and the people below you who you ignore, they can hear you. So make the noise you want to be remembered for. So in no way am I telling you what to say. I can't.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's the intention with which the line was written. I was like, I want to create this moment where we all come together. I just don't want to lead the audience. That would be disingenuous. But sometimes, sir, in a live show, some shit just happens that, that was that.
Yeah.
I was in that. Everybody, we got out of that, we cut, final shot, etc., and everybody just came into the video village and they were like, my God, the stadium shook. And it did. I wish you could be there in that room when that happened. It was insane.
I'm glad I got to experience that secondhand.
Yeah.
But, in this short conversation, you casually tossed around pejorative, disingenuous. I think you do belong in the world of English language comedy in India. But seriously, Veer, thank you. It was a pleasure talking to you. And
I respect what you do so much. I want. I really want to say this for your listeners. Because of how I think specials are filmmaking, it was very important to me to come talk with you. I really wanted to reach out to you because of how well you understand filmmaking and filmmakers. So for me, it was a very big opportunity to come here, and I thank you for it.
thank you so much, and all the best for the show.
All right, lovely.
டார்லிங் சோலார் 20,500 முன்பணத்தில் இப்பொழுது சோலார் மூலம் இலவச மின்சாரம். This festive season, travel the world with Grand Royal Tours.
ரகங்கள் பலவிதம், ஒவ்வொன்றும் உலகத்தரம். தமிழக உற்பத்தியில் உங்கள் அனுஜ் டைல்ஸ்.